Lenin said over 120 years ago, this state will always surf the wave generated by the oppressed. The state will always surf the energetic momentum generated by the oppressed masses who have not articulated keenly and definitively their own material interests. And the state will use anybody to do it. The state will use artists to do it. This is not me saying this. This is V.I. Lenin saying this in the late 1800s. He said the state will use artists. The state will use musicians. The state will use preachers and priests. The state will use whoever it needs to surf the wave of the momentum generated over and over and over and over and over again by the oppressed masses, to build something and win something for itself at their expense. So all this energy they expend, all this yelling they do, all this money they lose, not going to work or whatever, all this energy that they produce has never benefited them. Because again, if you go just through the last 100 years of rebellions, successful revolutionary struggles, not revolutionary movements, revolutionary struggles. And you go through country through country through country through country, community through community, rebellion, movement, and do an honest list, an honest historical assessment of gains versus losses. All that energy, all that movement, all that momentum, always directed to serve the state. That's what parasitism is. That's what it means for a society to be parasitic at birth, parasitic in its inception. Everything that it does is parasitism. Everything that it builds is parasitic. Why you act confused about the medical system? Why you act confused about the educational system? Why you act confused about the so-called judicial system in this country? Y'all be acting confused when y'all out there fighting them. Y'all be acting confused about what it is you're looking at. I'm not confused. I'm not confused about why these institutions function the way that they do. They are parasitic by nature. They are parasitic by design. They are parasitic by design. You understand? So again, if you can accept and recognize that these institutions function exactly the way that they are developed to, created to, implemented to, then you can crystal clear see that what it is, acknowledging what this is, how do I build and generate its opposition? If the issue at hand is this thing happening in the Middle East to Palestinians, is what it is, and you recognize the history, the length and the development, the growth, the inception of the Israeli state as parasitic from inception, intentions clearly laid out to be parasitic. At what juncture did the parasite let go the host? While y'all saying ceasefire, that's all y'all fighting for, ceasefire, ceasefire. That's not going to resolve the problem that exists in the Middle East. A ceasefire. That's what y'all articulating. You understand? Because you ain't even honest enough to say what you want to say, because they have terrorized you so that you cannot say what you want to say. What you know it is the right thing to say. That no group of people have a right or a predestined right to exist at the expense of another. No nation, nowhere on earth. You understand? You understand? So, this is what we're looking at. And I've had several people ask me, have you gone out to UCLA for the Nope. Don't even flinch when I say it. Nope. Are you pro-Palestinian? Have been for 20 years. And you ain't going to the demonstrations? No. Participate in the boycott? Cool. Been doing that for longer than a lot of you been alive. That's not a problem. But me going out and doing a demonstration when even the man that y'all love and hail as one of the great thinkers of socialist ideology said, why y'all keep spinning y'all wheels at these goddamn demonstrations? Why y'all keep participating in these swells of rebellions without going into this shit strategically with a clear goal in mind and objectives that contribute to the fulfillment of that goal, that guarantee that after life is lost, after you done got yourself knocked over the head, after y'all done engaged in some kind of political struggle, you the one that wins something in the end. Here we are, 130 something years later. He was clear. That book could have been, it reads like it could have been written yesterday. Here we are. It's doing the same thing over and over and over and over and over again and expecting a different outcome. Yeah, millions and millions and millions of y'all gonna head out to that motherfucking poll this year. Still holding on to this wicked, diabolical philosophy of choosing the lesser of two evils. One is a genocidal megalomaniac feigning senility, feigning cognitive decline, feigning oldness to galvanize sympathy. What did I tell y'all? Biden is the poster child for strategic and weaponized incompetence. He is the poster child for the government executing strategic and weaponized incompetence to neutralize you. You understand? He is a willing, enthusiastic participant in the genocide of the indigenous people of Palestine. He is a willful, enthusiastic participant and facilitator of war crimes. Yeah, he is. Yeah, he is. Yeah, he is. You understand? And then, so these are your options. A willful, enthusiastic facilitator of and participant in genocide in real time. Or the other genocidal megalomaniac who's the target of his genocidal attacks, listen, rest over decades. Because it's easy for you to see Biden as a genocidal megalomaniac. It's so difficult for you to see Trump as a genocidal megalomaniac because the objects of his genocidal exploits were black-skinned people. Black-skinned folks. That's the history. That ain't conjecture. That ain't my opinion. You look at his time in New York. You look at the crimes he committed against black people in New York. That's genocide. What are the articles of genocide? Intent to destroy members of the group. Complicity in genocide against the group. What's the other one? Acts meant to remove children of the group away from the group. The articles on genocide are very crystal clear and easy to understand. You understand? So anyway, yeah. So y'all gonna do that, no matter despite the fact that me and many others have told you for some time. To participate in the institutions of the state is to legitimize the state. That's why I've never voted in a presidential election. I will never vote in a presidential election. Never. Now, while I will participate in local electoral politics, I will never legitimate the state that I am 1,000% diametrically opposed to. Fuck the Constitution. Goddamn the Bill of Rights. How we just accept this shit and it never had any of us in mind. That shit didn't have black people in mind, didn't have native people in mind, didn't have yellow people in mind, didn't have brown people in mind, didn't have women in mind, didn't have children in mind, still don't have children in mind. It was clear. And because we can amend it, we can create mutations in this wicked goddamn instrument that is being held over our heads all the time, as if this is the only personification of justice that we can possibly envision. we can possibly understand. Women still aren't considered equal citizens in the United States based on that same piece of paper. We cannot even imagine creating a new and opposing constitution. We have deified the Constitution. We have deified. The Constitution is America's Bible. You feel me? We can see in our personal relationships how the Bible has harmed us, how the Bible has cast spells on our goddamn brains since we was children. We can see that right now in real time. But cannot see how the Godhead called the United States of America its primary weapon of choice are the philosophical ideas imposed in your goddamn consciousness that have you joint at the hip with this bitch, even as it's kicking your ass every day. Even as it's kicking your ass every day. You understand? So I don't know. I don't know what we I don't know. All I know is what we know. What I know is that's the only way forward is to build institutions of dual and contending power. Whatever we see, acknowledge it. Don't be a bypasser. Don't be putting on evaders and blinders. Face it. See what it is. Analyze its history, all the things that have contributed to its personification in the world, and build its opposition. Create its opposition. That's it. Dual and contending power is the only way to create the new. It is the only way to generate the new. Seeing a thing and what it does and how it behaves and being honest in your analysis of what it is, and then generate the new, the extreme opposite of it. That's it. That's all. You feel me? We need to be creating new paradigms of the execution of justice based on what we already know. We ain't even got to create it from the new. We can take old ideas and transform them in a way that suits us in the here and now, and let that be an organic instrument that has the ability to grow and lose appendages if need be. You feel me? I did a presentation a few months ago about the Fates and the Furies, the Moray, right? Nemesis as the goddess, right? The Iami, Ajay in Ifat tradition, Sekhmet in Kemetic tradition, Hecate, Pele, Kali. These are full embodiments of the mother. These are full generative and destructive embodiments of the mother. You see, they have stories that tell us what the execution of justice, genuine justice, not blind justice. Justice don't need to be blind. Genuine justice in its execution, spearheaded by the energies of the mothers, can look like in the world and how it can harmonize the world. You feel me? I just read something to y'all last week about the history of what do they call them? Sex boycotts. The history of sex boycotts, and how what did they say in pre-colonial Nigeria, the women were the executors of justice. They were the ones that determined the quality of justice, the execution of justice. The women did that, and the men yielded out of respect for the embodiment of the mother. They yielded. You feel me? This is the work.